Hello everyone. I have not been uploading videos with random topics because I am in the middle of writing several books. In today's video, it's not about a book, it is about a topic that I have wanted to talk to you about for quite a while ago. The topic is the real you, the authentic self. We all live our lives to fit in others' expectations and opinions of who we are. People will make up who you are for their convenience, long before they ever try to understand you. This is not a personal failure, it is a human habit. Most people do not relate to others as living, breathing individuals. They relate to shortcut labels, impressions, fragments gathered from a single moment or a passing interaction. From those fragments, they build a version of you that suits their emotional economy. Convenience is powerful. It saves time. It reduces uncertainty. It allows people to interact without vulnerability. To truly know another person requires patience, humility, and the willingness to be wrong. That level of seeing demands effort, and effort is something many people unconsciously avoid. So they simplify you. They decide who you are based on what you give, how you behave when it benefits them, or how you once responded under pressure. If you were helpful, you become a reliable one. If you endure quietly, you become the strong one. If you spoke up once, you become a difficult one. Over time, these conclusions harden into identities assigned to you rather than ones you choose. And once an identity is assigned, people expect you to perform it. They will come to you for what you have always given, and they will feel offended when you stop. They will rely on your silence and feel threatened when you speak. They will praise you for your patience but resist your boundaries. What they are really saying is, be who you were when it was useful to me. This is where the subtle violence begins, not loud, not dramatic, but quietly corrosive. Because when people respond only to the version of you that serves them, they are no longer in a relationship with you. They are in a relationship with their convenience. And if you internalize that role, you begin to disappear inside it. Many people do not realize when this happens. It unfolds slowly. You begin editing your reactions. You preemptively soften your truth. You ask yourself, how will this be received? Instead of, is this honest? You choose harmony over integrity, familiarity over growth. At first, it feels like maturity. Later, it feels like suffocation. The tragedy is not that others misunderstand you. The tragedy is when you cooperate with that misunderstanding. You tell yourself it is easier this way, that explaining yourself is exhausting, that resistance will only bring conflict, and so you learn to live half expressed, half seen, half alive. You become skilled at being palatable, predictable, agreeable, until one day you realize you have become invisible to yourself. But the real you does not vanish, it weighs. It weighs in the quiet frustration you feel after certain conversations, in the heaviness that follows interactions where you were nice but not truthful, in the subtle resentment that builds when you keep giving without being known. These are not flaws in your character, they are signals from your inner life asking to be acknowledged. The real you always asks for the truth, not perfection, no approval. Truth becoming real again often begins with discomfort. The first time you break a pattern, say no when you used to say yes, speak plainly when you used to stay quiet, withdraw when you used to overextend. People will be confused. Some will be hurt. Others will accuse you of changing, as if change were betrayal rather than a sign of growth. But change is not a problem. Inconsistency is not the same as evolution. You are allowed to outgrow versions of yourself that were built for survival. You are allowed to revise your own once you no longer need it. You are allowed to disappoint people who only love the parts of you that serve them. Here's the difficult truth. Some relationships do not survive authenticity. Not because authenticity is wrong, but because the relationship was never built on truth to begin with. It was built on access, convenience, emotional labor, or expectation. When you remove the performance, there is nothing left to hold it together. This can feel like a loss, and it is, but it's also liberation. Because when you stop giving people the convenience or false version of you, you create space for real connection. The people who stay are not confused by your depth. They are not threatened by your boundaries. They do not demand that you remain small or static. They meet you where you are, not where you used to be. Being real does not mean being harsh or careless. It means being alive. It means letting your words match your inner landscape. It means refusing to participate in narratives that distort your truth, even when correcting them feels uncomfortable. You will not be understood by everyone, and that is not a failure. Understanding is mutual. It requires willingness on both sides. Some people are committed to misunderstanding you because it protects a story they need to tell themselves. Let them keep it. Your responsibility is not to manage their perception. Your responsibility is to live in a way that does not fracture you internally. There is a quiet confidence that comes from this alignment. It is not loud. It does not seek validation. It does not argue. It simply is. When you are rooted in who you are, other people's projections lose their power. You no longer feel the urge to defend yourself against stories that were never yours to begin with. And perhaps the most profound shift is this: when you stop being convenient, you start being free. Free from the rules that train you, free from expectations that box you in, free from constant negotiation between who you are and who you are allowed to be. Freedom is not always comfortable, but it is honest, and honesty is a way to restoring energy, clarity, and self-respect. Let people remember you however they choose. Let them hold on to outdated version if they must. You do not owe anyone continuity at the expense of truth. Be the real you, even when it disrupts, especially when it disrupts. Because a life shaped for convenience will never feel like home, but a life lived in truth, imperfect, evolving, sometimes misunderstood, will always belong to you. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy it. And just be yourself, be your authentic self.